Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Now, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I'm sorry I'm late. There's a couple people in the chat I see. Hi, everybody. Delaney, Sovereign, and I don't know who else. Anyway, greetings, everybody. The reason I'm late is because I'm a couple of things. I'm in pain. Okay, so I just want to say my prayer though for everybody else. I'm not doing this video for y'all to say, "Ooh, I'm sorry you got hurt." No, I was thinking about it and I was like, there many times I've been in the hospital and I have been in pain, and how I've dealt with it. And I know there are a lot of people. I look like crap underneath this light. I'm going to change light in a minute. I'm outside. And so before I start into the pain thing, I want to show you around what's going to be my 2 years I'm working on this, right? Hang on. This is going to be a fun ride. This is my porch to be. There's my buckets of stuff. This was full of water the other day. I mean, right almost to the top of the block. And what I'm doing is I put these they call them partition block. It's a 4x8x16 concrete block. And I made the walls with it. And on the outside, I'm using that brick that's up in that pile over there on the outside. And the cord isn't long enough, but my front door is going to be over there. And this is the existing house. You see my levels and everything. And I've been working down here. This is all dirt, but this is full of water. And this is this is the footer I'm working on. This is where I ended with the wall right there. And then I'm continuing on down the side of the house where that shovel is. And then I'm going to pour all this with concrete. And then, so this is going to be my porch. Hang on. Let me hang this thing back up. And I'm going to change the light. I just fixed this light. And now it won't work. Hang on, everybody. This is taking longer than I thought. More like a camping atmosphere here. But anyway, I'm out here sitting on the porch and trying to figure out, how this room's going to work and how this chair is and how much room I got to the wall. And I really don't have that much. So, hi, Chloe, Delaney, Open Think. Love to you all as well. Greetings and blessings. And I don't have any extra light, and that other light's just too dead gum bright. So I'm sitting outside. I don't have the walls or anything up yet. But I wanted to test it out. And here, the thing is, I was working out here earlier, the reason for this video, and I was moving bags of cement over there. And a couple of them have gotten wet because of all the rain, right? So I went to move this, quote, bag of cement that actually isn't cement. It's actually a big rock now. So it's like, all right. So I'm moving this giant rock, and it happened to break in half because I grabbed it from both sides, right? Hey, Duggar, what you doing? Duggar's down here. He's sniffing around. He's been having a good time. But then when the bag broke and the rock came, then half of the bag, which was a 60-pound bag, so about 30 pounds of concrete fell on my left ankle, and it went down my shin all the way to the ankle and stopped. And I'm like, oh wow! Now it hadn't broken anything, but it's swelled a bunch right now. So I was thinking, I've had operations on my neck. I've had 3 operations on my neck. I've had 3 operations on my leg when I was up. Hey, Max, how are you? And Maverick, how are you? Greetings this early morning, Sunday, late night, Saturday. And so anyway, I'm in pain, right? And I'm like, oh, I got to do something else. I don't have any super duper pain pills anymore. So it's like, all right. Um, and it's hurting. So what do I do? And the first thing I thought of, well, after about an hour and a half of, you know, owie, 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 I'm like, control the pain, control the pain, control the pain. And well, wait a minute now. So what do I do? Well, I got some ice bags in the freezer, and but it hurts too dang much to lay anything on it at the moment. That's how bad it hurts. So it's like, but I got my foot elevated. My point though is to shift your focus away from the pain. If you're concentrating on the pain, then you're in more pain. And I don't know, it's like, what? Yeah, you have to change your focus. So it's like whatever I'm doing now, it's still hurting, right? But and this isn't about my pain. That's not the point of this video. But it is an opportunity to discuss how you can control the pain or situations, and you change your focus. You just, okay, I know it's down there, but I'm just going to ignore it. And people say, well, wait a minute, how can you ignore pain? It takes practice, and it doesn't actually go away, but you can compartmentalize the pain. Now, I've had head injuries. I've had over 20 um, head concussions. I can speak to that, and we have. Um, but in controlling the pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, I had my leg, broken playing football for Tampa Catholic back in the day. And I watched my left foot go past my helmet and it landed twisted up on my back. I know what pain is. I really do. And they tried really hard to knock me out when I was at Tampa General laying there. Hello, Marie, on the gurney before they took me into surgery. But, I have a high tolerance for drugs, I guess. That actually kind of sort of started my drug addiction. I found out how much fun it was to get hit up with a good pain med. But anyway, Demerol, anyone, or morphine back in them days. But anyway, um, but over the years and over all the times I've had operations and, hurt myself down on the river, I had a fish hook go through my finger and my thumb, and I had to paddle myself off the river. And it took me a day to get to the emergency room. And so all that time I had a hook in my hand. Um, you know, when I hit myself in the head with the hammer, building putting in this window right here behind me, you know. And I taught my son and his friend how to make butterfly bandages on the fly, to close up my wound because I was too drunk to drive and they were too young. So, and neither one of them knew how to drive a stick shift. So I was stuck out here in the country way back in the day without a phone. But anyway, but the idea though that, what we do, me talking about all the times I've been hurt, or, I've almost had my finger cut off, and I watched them do microsurgery to, anyway. So, but you have to learn how to block it. And I guess I've had way too damn much practice. But the thing is, there are people right now, good friends of mine, who are hurting, and it's very difficult for some people, not talking about my friends, mind you, but in pain in general, what is a 5 to me on a scale of how bad does this hurt? It's a 10 or a 9 for somebody else, because I've lived with some of my pain for so long. And I was, me and the dog were out here and I'm cleaning up and trying to move some block around as much as I hurt. And I'm like, don't care how much I hurt. If I work for 15 or 20 minutes moving some block, I'm exercising, I'm getting my blood flow, I'm out of the house, blah, 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 right? Even though I did a lot of shoveling yesterday and, weed eating a day before that. And I'm 60, I'll be 68 on Thursday. Not plugging my birthday, just saying I made it another year, y'all. At least so far, knock on wood, but so people in pain though, they're like, well, how do you do it? You have to allow yourself to shift gears, and you have to believe that you can do it. There are people who are like, well, it hurts too bad. Then think of something else. But it still hurts. Yeah, I didn't say you could necessarily make it go away. But instead of it being your primary focus, you change your focus from what the pain is. Now, again, I was going to put in the title of this video, when in pain, do a live stream, but y'all know me that, that's a joke. But at the same time, I thought, well, this is actually a good opportunity to maybe help someone out. So, but when you learn about yourself, and what does this have to do with shamans? Well, because in certain circumstances, like the whirling dervish, I think we talked about this in another video, but how they whirl and twirl, and some of them go clockwise, some of them go counterclockwise. But you'd say, well, they're going to get dizzy, they're going to fall down, and some folks do this for hours on end, and you go, they never get tired. And there is a spirituality there. I've done it. I don't know if I could get up and necessarily dance right now, but sometimes when you're injured, that's when you need to dance. And a shaman taught me that many years ago, and he goes, if it ain't broke, and if it's just swelled up, he goes, it may be the best thing for you is to dance it up. And I was like, but it's swelled up. I can't get my shoe on, but maybe, is it broke? Well, no. Okay. Does it hurt? Yeah. Well, allow your pain in Mother Earth and just work through it. Now, there are a lot, the Navy SEALs and them kind of folk, they are trained in sort of a um, um, a self hypnosis, in that where you fight through the pain and you say, well, that's crazy, but it's not. You can learn to compartmentalize where that pain is. Now, if I was sitting in the house just, feeling sorry for myself because, it was an accident that would happen to me. But, I was like, well, dad gummit, and I was being careful, you know what I mean? And just trying to get a little something done and fixing up out here. And we might have more rain coming in the next day or two. Ain't that we just got done with this other hurricane. And we can all send a prayer out to the folks out down there in Pensacola area. My daughter and several family members are down in that area. And Brian Lunsford's down in that area, and his family. I've heard from him, and he and his family, they were out of electricity the other day, but they still had, everybody was okay. And a message came through a friend to a friend from my daughter that the family down there they didn't have any power and things were, but everybody was alive, everybody was okay. So it's like, thank you, thumbs up for that one, right? Cheers. But so we can send folks out because they're in pain in a different way, right? So, but having been through several instances over my lifetime, I mean, down in Tampa, we had several hurricanes go through back before I moved up here. And then Tampa quit having hurricanes, and we've had a bunch of them up here in this area. And it's been more common than not. Now, knock on wood, we didn't. we lost electricity for about 10 seconds, just enough for everything to have to reboot. And there's actually more wind blowing high up in the tops of the trees now than over two days of rain. The rivers came up. The one was at 2 foot and it peaked just below 14 foot. That's how high the rivers came up in about a day. In 24 hours, that's how high the river came up. The Oclockney down here where I go kayaking and canoeing and camping and all down there. Anyway, the campsite where we normally camp is underwater, by the way. But anyway, but it's still an interesting paddle to paddle over areas that normally when you go through, you can take shortcuts and go into places. It's really interesting when the water's high. You have to be careful though. But anyway, but working through the pain. So what do? You say, well, I'm going to think of something else. And the best way to get to kill pain is by laughing. Find something that'll make you giggle or to laugh, watch a movie, or do something that will literally take your mind off of it. But in the process of being a shaman, a spiritual being, truth in me. Hi, how are you? Marie, Delaney. Did I miss anybody? Maybe up higher. Maverick, I think I said hello. My glasses are over here, but they're steamed up and it's outside anyway. Oh, thank you, Bob. And here's some coffee, sort of fresh, but let's say thank you to Bob and everybody. Golly, a bunch of folks showed up here at 3 in the morning, or 3:30 actually. Delaney says, "Watch my videos. I promise you'll be laughing." Yeah, you're one. And I mean this with a lot of respect, Miss Delaney. You're one crazy lady. I love it. You know, touche. So cheers. It's 5:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon down there in the land down under. But and I still got your brother, Marie, by the way, I still got your brother's name on that piece of paper in there on the table. And so but anyway, so Yuha. Yep, got it wrote down. Anyway, and there's a lot of stuff, by the way, and something that could take your mind off of physical pain would be to watch what's going on with some of these crazy people. Just I'm telling you, man. Um, they're they last weekend, and now we're at this weekend. They had this thing going about the anonymous. These anonymous people, these anonymous sources, and I think I spoke about it before, but I'm going to bring it up here just slightly for a minute. But some of these sources are, they're anonymous this, and like I did about reading the thing about Mark Antony, and I think there were some people that mistook the reason why I did the reading was to show you that for centuries this misdirection has been going on, and that the word honor is tossed around, but I'm an honorable person, so you should listen to me. And it's like, but when you see that the lies and the deceit from these people, when you actually find out the truth, you go, oh my God, these folks, are far from being honorable. And by trusting them, you have put your honor on the line. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I believed you and I told other people to believe you, and then you turned out to be a snot nosed, yappity yap. Hey, Open Think, how are you? It's a form of gaslighting, Dave. Yes, I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. That's my point. And so this thing, they keep talking about honor, and I want to say it's honor among thieves. And I'm speaking about some of the press and some of these people who are supposed to be like, well, she's a well-known journalist, and people respect her. Why? Because she, continues to make them look good in the news and to support the lies. And, well, I like that person over there. She keeps the narrative going. Now, where is this headed? Now, I changed my focus. Now, I can still feel my ankle. I can still feel the pain, but I have changed my focus and direction. And people say, well, wait a minute now. Well, what did you just do? Well, it's a little bit of sleight of hand, magic, if you will. You put your brain in another avenue of thinking. Now I changed my thinking from, dang, my leg hurts and my ankle's all swelled up. And, I really want to put ice on it, but it hurts like a mofo. And so I'm just going to sit here with it elevated and talk to y'all. and, till the battery, I'm outside without a thing. So when the battery goes down, I'll have to, whenever that is. But the other thing is like I was bored. There wasn't nothing on the TV. Hey, Scratch, how are you? Cheers. Um, and I thought, well, it's the middle of the night down here, why not? Let's, the dog's out here walking around chasing. There was a young fox in the yard today. I mean, but not a full grown, but you could tell it was a youngster. And I mean, just I had to come outside and clap my hands to get the thing to run away. So, last year I had a fox get in the chicken pen and decimate my chicken population. I still have one chicken left, and every once in a while she'll lay a couple of eggs. And but anyway, I keep thinking old age is going to take her any day now. But so far she's like 4 or 5 years old. I mean, she's an old chicken. Usually 3 years is like. But anyway, so I'm out here on my porch to be and checking it out, and I realize that even though, and I'm really glad that I made this thing another 2 foot wider instead of 6 foot. I made it 8 foot. If I'd have made it 6 foot, there wouldn't be enough room. My foot would be resting on the wall. So I'm really glad, even though it's taken me a lot of extra time and a lot of extra, not necessarily money, but a lot of extra time and a lot of extra time and a lot of extra time to do what I'm doing. But um, I'm going to do this in the daytime. Again, I've been moving some stuff around because it really looked like crap. You couldn't see what I was doing. But um, I want to do this in the daytime to kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing, um, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And some folks are like, well, why don't you just do this or that? And well, a lot of things I've done over the years have been an experiment, and this is sort of an experiment. And some of my experiments, my house is still here. Okay. I know some people that had to have their floors replaced. My my house is on the concrete is on the ground. In fact, for a long time, I had taken there. I had uh, I'll think of it, concrete block around as a footer, and then I built my house on top of that, not on top of the ground, right? And so, but inside of those concrete block all the way around, I just leveled the dirt really well. And somebody had a bunch of old carpet, and I laid the carpet down over the dirt, 2 layers worth, right? And then I had some other little throw rugs. And my friend Marcia, who by the way has broke her arm, but she is doing better, and so far no surgery, but she's got I guess maybe the end of this week or early next week, I mean, this is almost Monday, but in 7 more days, she'll have to have her arm re x-rayed. But anyway, so I'd leveled it out real well and had furniture in there and everything. And nobody, people that came to visit, they had to step into the house. Nobody said anything, right? And so one day we were sitting in there, and Marcia and I were having a chat, and probably back in them days we were probably drinking some tequila or something, or we drank a lot of rum back in those days. But anyway, we're having a toddy, And I said, yeah, one of these days I'm going to get enough money. I'm going to be able to pour this floor in here. She goes, what do you mean, pour the floor? And I said, we're sitting on the dirt. No, you're not. Well, no, we're not. Yes, we are. We've been sitting on this dirt now for a couple of years now. She goes, no, this is, well, there's a floor. And I said, hang on. I know, you don't believe me sometimes. And I pulled the layers of carpet back and there's just dirt. And she was like, what? And I was like, the Indians, in a teepee or whatever, there aren't floors in lodges. And so what they do is now they lay carpets down, but back in the day, well, they made rugs and so forth, but they put skins down uh, and whatever they had, right, to cover the ground. Um, and when you get a good carpet or covering or whatever on the inside of one of those lodges with a nice little fire in the middle, and I mean I've been in them, when it was like 25 degrees outside and snowing up in Tennessee, and at the beginning of November, we used to play Tullahoma, Tennessee up there every year around Veterans Day. And but anyway, so it there were several times it got colder than snot up there. I mean, snow going sideways. For me down here in the south, that's like woo. But I know anybody north of Macon, Georgia, the Macon Dixon line, you get snow flurries and things, but it's odd for us down here. Um, Bye, Max. Good night, Max. Good morning, Max. Thank you, Max. Thank you, everybody. Attached, I see. How are you? Blessings. Truth in me. Michelle. Okay. If I missed my Marie, still okay. All right. So with the pain, so my foot don't hurt near as bad because I have changed. Um, Good. Glad you've been okay, attached. Um, but the thing is that I was being really careful, moving, what I knew was a hard bag of cement that just the bag broke, the thing came out, and I had 35 pounds worth of rock hit me on the ankle. That's so, but my idea, and that was just a couple hours ago. But anyway, but the idea though, when you're in pain, and when I was down on the river and stuck for 3 days, it's hot. I didn't have much water. I was in a lot of pain because one of the reasons why I got stuck down there was because the rope that I was pulling the canoe with over a log broke, and I landed on my back against another log and stuck in the mud, looking up at the sky going, holy geez. And I got a really bad back anyway. So this like just stopped everything. And so, but the thing is that regardless of how I felt, being as far down the river as I was, and there wasn't nobody coming anytime soon because of all the logs and everything that I had to go over to get where I was at that time. And I realized, oh man, I'm just going to have to deal with this. I'm down here. This happened. Holy crap. So it's not my first thought is not, oh my God, I'm going to die. Now I will go, holy crap, how am I going to deal with this? Which is different than, oh, I'm stuck or I can't get out of this or I'm in so much pain. Now, there for that first, I don't know, bit, it hurts so bad that you can't move, but if you don't move, you're not going to be able to move. So you have to get through it and move anyway. It's sort of like pulling now I've never been shot with an arrow, but I've been poked with a few things, but and nails and things anyway. But you pull them things out, you know. You just man up or woman up or you whatever it is, and you deal with it. Like getting a fish hook in my foot and in my finger. You got to deal with it. No matter how bad it hurts, you have got to get that puppy out, right? Now it took me a day trying to get it out by myself that I ended up having to go to the emergency room. But I was bound and determined I was going to get that sucker out myself, but it was in there. And I just was not interested in doing a left-handed operation on my finger, not when I could go to the emergency room and get it done. But had I been in it down in the swamp or something and really stuck, I'd have got out my knife and I'd have got that hook out of my finger. One way or the other, I'd have done it. But I just realized there it wasn't necessary. I could go to the hospital. I got Medicare, you know. I still had to pay a nominal fee, but anyway. But through the pain though, I've got this hook in my hand, you know, um, and I still have to paddle back. I'm down on the river, with a hook, and a thing dangling from my finger, and realizing that you just have to work through it. There's nobody going to come down here and save you. You can, holler and scream at the universe, but what you got to do is buck up and go get her done. Now, but today I'm just outside. Now, here's the thing, my friend Marcia, she was at the art center and tripped and fell against a door and broke her shoulder. And you say, well, but here's the thing. My dear friend lost her brother the other day. He had a brain aneurysm in his truck and died sitting at a raceway gas station, with his truck running, you know and we don't know what weird things will happen to us. So what do? We understand that regardless of that, we make up our minds right now. Anything that comes at us, we can adapt to. I mean, I've had blood spurting out, and the first impression is holy crap, but you gotta calm down. You have to stay sane. You have to go, I got this, regardless of how bad the situation is. And unfortunately, some things can get really bad. I'm glad, it didn't actually land on the top of my foot, and it would have broken um, bones in the top of my foot. Thank goodness it scraped my leg all the way down to the ankle, and my ankles just swelled. It's okay. I can deal with that. It's going to be sore. But, see, it doesn't hurt as bad as it did earlier. And because I've changed my focus. Now, if I quit talking and turn the computer off, I guarantee you in 5 minutes' time, I would feel it throbbing. It'd be like hollering at me. So changing your focus. Now, shamans do this in different ways. Like, okay, think of the stars or think of an out of body experience. And that, in an essence, is what you have to do. You actually have to go into a waking state of astral projection. And you go, what? I'm not going anywhere. No, but you have to convince yourself that that part of the body, even though it's still here, ain't here. And whatever's going on with it ain't going on, you know? And you say, well, that's just sounds so weird. It's the reverse of healing something. So now when the pain subsides, I'm going to start sending healing energy down there. But right now my focus has to be on don't hurt. Okay. I'll Bob the Builder that I've talked about inside my body, they've already gotten the alert. They're sending crews down to my ankle but there's nothing broken. It's just swelled. But the thing is that they've already sent an attack team down to my ankles in my pre thinking of having these entities, nanobots, if you will, that are at my command. I it's not like all right, now you're going to do that. I thought, okay, guys, go fix this. So I'm telling the cells and the blood cells and everything, fix this. I've done it with my neck, I've done it with my leg, I've done it with my fingers that I've cut and healed and everything. So it is like, and I'm going to have another birthday. Like, what? How am I still here with all the things? I got bumps, bruises, cuts, and jams and things. It's just like for a long time, people were like, man, you're just bound and determined to hurt yourself, right? I had a scaffolding collapse and I fell, about 8 feet and landed on my back. And that's why I have such issues with my back. Hey, there's Duggar right there at my feet. Hey, Duggar, you been out running around? Whoa, go underneath. Yeah, careful of the ankle. Be careful. Stay out of the flower bed. He's snooping around. He is like, and now that the weather's halfway decent and the skeeters, when the temperature drops, the skeeters don't fly. So it's like, thank you. But in this of dealing with pain, it's part of the thing of having that absolute faith. I can do this. Now I still feel it throbbing. Don't get me. Thank you. I'm not trying to plug my birthday. I'm really not. I just every year that this happens, I go, I made it another year. And here recently, we've lost Brian. We've almost lost my friend Randy, who was in um, a coma for 2 months. We hit Randy's wife. Had her father passed away while he was in the coma. This person has passed away. These people are sick. That people, oh my God, just stuff going on. I mean, just folks that I know. A friend of mine from Tampa Catholic, his wife of 33 years passed away. And God love him. And my good friend, my other good friend Randy, he touched base with me the other day, and he's going in, I think, this coming week for like his 6 month checkup, um because he beat colon cancer, you know and so it's like he was so close to death. He goes, he said, I think I saw God, and I was like, I don't doubt it. No, I mean, and so he's had a near death experience, as I've had a few of them. Um, but when you have them and it changes your whole point of view of what life and spirit and everything is about. And when you survive something that's traumatic like that, and my sister's going through, having a breast removed, and for those who remember Breaking Dawn, she, I don't know what her current status is, but last time I heard it, she said she's still alive. And so there are folks in a lot of different things and a lot of stuff going on. So my getting on here and whining about my swelled up ankle, but it's it's what we do with that pain. You know, we can survive it, or do we allow it to overtake us? And it's still hurting down there. But when I change my focus in my brain and move it to somewhere else, it doesn't hurt as much. So, but there are people with low tolerances for pain that are like low. So for me, that would might be a 4 or a 5, maybe a low 6, depending, on pain. There is like 9 and pushing 10. I can't deal with this. I'm in so much pain. I'm in blah blah blah. I'm like, and where's your pain? Now, not to say that they don't hurt, but it's the level to which they think it hurts. They are convinced this hurts so freaking bad. Well, let me tell you, have you ever had your leg broke in 4 places and had it thrown on your back? That's pain. That's a 10.5. Okay. Well, no. Well, what did you do? Well, I broke a bone in my foot. Well, that's okay, but you're not going to die. Oh, my foot. Oh, my this. Oh, calm down. You broke a tiny bone in the top of your foot, and you got to wear a walking cast. Calm the heck down. Oh, the pain. Holy Jiminy Christmas. I mean, oh, I broke my finger. I'm not saying it don't hurt, but life stops for some folk with pain. So this started out as a good 8.5. my ankle tonight. Or actually, it was this morning. Let me put my coffee down, see if this table will still. There you go. I do need to shift a little bit. This is sort of, I just threw this together and came out here and wanted to sit on the porch and have a yak with you all this morning. I had this feeling too, and I feel very honored. And I was talking with, I believe, Teresa, and the other day, and I was like, there are times when I feel like I should get on here and just have an open discussion, not any particular type of topic, and basically just chat about what's going on or whatever, and because there are times when I'm like, uh, nobody wants me to get on here and chat about bullshit, blah 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 blah, at least have a topic, right? And then I realized, and I said, there are times when there are other people, for whatever reason, are bored or tired or sick or depressed or feeling lonely or that kind of thing, and want to participate. And that, and as I've had to continually be reminded by my spirit guide and my Mother Mary essence that, I don't do this because I want the attention. You know, you all know me, I think, well enough to understand that. So I'm not here because I need attention. Me and the dog were having a good time. But then I thought, wait a minute, this is a good learning opportunity. How am I dealing with this? Let's have a chat. How do we deal with pain? So, but anyway, I realized also though that, I may say, well, uh, I'm not going to get on, blah, 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 blah. But that maybe one of you folk need to have a chat. Maybe you folk need a place to participate and feel welcome and at home, and we can have a chat. And you can bring up a topic if you want, or ask me a question. This is an open forum kind of thing. So, and I invited, always chat between yourselves. And so this is, whether I think there's, for me personally, if there's anything that I quote need to get off my chest, maybe it's something else. So, in looking at the spiritual side of things, I realized that, at 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe there really is somebody that needs to have a chat, that needs to have participation, and that, that don't make this, as I've said, this ain't about me, but okay, so I'll be the moderator. I'll start a conversation. Let's talk about this, and everybody will participate. And you know me, 3 hours later, we're talking about all kinds of crap, right? But with that said, I'm humbled. Here recently, I've reached a new level of humbleness, if you will, in that, it was all about the message that Mother Mary, or that, the universe wants me to relay, having to do with spiritualism and so forth. And then I was like, well, but maybe I don't have anything to say. Well, but maybe it's not about what we say, it's about our participation. That's my point. So I realized, oh my goodness, it really is about the participation. And I'm just the camp counselor, and I just had some really humbling moments yesterday and earlier today, in that I didn't even want to open up the computer to see what was going on. I needed to just kind of let it, this new wave of, I'm calling it humbleness, in that, you know, um, it's the verification for me and for us whether or not our participation actually matters. And I noticed that Milky Way Soul Tribe had a thing earlier tonight. I missed it. I was working out here with a dog, completely forgot. Was so glad that it wasn't hot out here with skeeters, that, me and the dog were out here for a while today. But anyway, about ESP. And I was talking about these last couple of videos I did, in that the speed, and when I said the speed of light is this variable, but but the speed of thought knocks the speed of light out of the ballpark. And, we can sit in here, and when Fox came on early one morning and said, "Hey, send me, I could use a little energy." We all shifted gears and sent a positive thought. He immediately, or she, I don't know if Fox is male or female. No offense meant, but, um, but we share our energy, and it's immediately picked up. It's not like put in a buffer zone somewhere. It goes out right then. So when we send our energies out to the universe, it goes out right then. So, there are some times when I have picked up on thoughts. Now I've attributed it, yeah, say that a couple of times quick, to the fact that we did that meditation and the drum and the candle and that kind of thing a couple of weeks ago. Gonna need to do another one. Um, because it's autumn, and anyway, but plus we need to just say thank you. Um, but after that, I felt more connected, not necessarily to each one of you personally, but kind of to each one of you personally. For everyone who participated, there was like another level. And there have been times when I was like, the other night I knew somebody wanted me to pull a card, and I didn't say anything. And then sure enough, somebody said, "Pull a card, Dave." So it's like the ESP thing. It has helped me to just be more in concert with the universe, right? So there are times when something's running through my head. I don't necessarily know who it may be. Now there have been times like Miss Marie. I have wondered. She hadn't been on in a while, and things, and So there was Ice Station Z. We didn't know. He popped in one night about a day after I was thinking about somebody else we were all missing, and they show up a day or two later, and it's like, so our messages seem to be getting through the into the universe. So in my opinion, does ESP work? Yeah, because me and my granny used to do it all the time. So what it is practice between us. Now, what's that got to do with pain? Because right now I've got one leg sitting on top of the other one, the good leg on top of the hurt leg, and it ain't hurting as bad as it was. So my changing of focus and discussing this and having conversation, and it has not taken the pain away because it still hurts down there, but it has shifted the pain level to where now I'm focused over here, and it don't hurt as bad. So, you can train yourself. Yeah, it hurts. And, if, like my friend Martha, she knew her arm was broke when she fell. There are times I knew when I looked down at my ankle, there wasn't anything broken, but it was going to hurt for a while, and it was going to damn sure swell up, which it did and is doing. But in my own thought, I'm going to be like, all right, now you just calm yourself down there, and don't swell up like you need to, and I'll put some ice on you in a little bit, because they skin to skin. I mean, anyway. So, but um, when we shift our focus, so as a shaman in training, and a lot of other spiritual folks, I mean, one of the things that I keep remembering, and that's there was this program about the Himalayas and the monks that lived there, and so it showed all these camera people and folks, dressed to the nines with the big woolly things. All you could see was this much of their face, and these monks, you know, are walking around in saffron robes in the Himalayas, in sandals. And they're like, well, it's a little breezy today, but hey, we got this. And the other people are like freezing to death with gloves on and all this, that, and the other thing. And there are people who have, been able to stay in cold water for long periods of time. Not me. That cold water is not one of them, not one of my favorite things. But anyway, but I have survived hypothermia at least at least three, but more like five times. Okay, three times very serious, five times the other two were not as serious, but still it was hypothermia. Not a good place to be. But see, the last time I had it, I was like, ah, shit, here I go again. I know how to deal with this. I'm going to shiver like hell for a little bit. And I'm like, calm down, calm down, calm down. We've been through this before. Calm down, and um, was able to make it through another time of hypothermia. And it was severe. So, can it work? Does it work? Yeah, I'm living proof. Um, Not to say that I'm better than anybody else. I mean, I've been hurt so many times. I just have a lot of practice. Shame on me. And there are a lot of people who have not had to deal with pain, but regardless of it, you can help to heal someone else's pain. You can't necessarily take it away, but you can minimize it. How? I'm getting on here and doing a conversation. So, now migraines, this don't work for migraines. Okay. Getting on and having a chat because, you're blind and, the sound of your breathing hurts. Oh my God. I've had some headaches that would just like shoot me, please, and have made it through that. So to me, it's like, well, I've had, um, what some people will call a myelogram headache. They take a little bit of spinal fluid and they inject it, some dye, and then they take x rays of you. I had so many of those done. I mean, like seven of them, okay, in the course of over a few years. So God knows what the dye has done to me and in my reactions and so forth. But the spinal fluid leaks out through the hole. And they have more times than not problems with that. And if you lose three or four drops of spinal fluid, it feels like your head is caving in down into your stomach. Okay. My friend Martha, who I refer to, I'd been through two or three of these, and she was like, "Well, that can't hurt that bad." And then she had one, and she was like, "Oh my God, I just all I wanted to do was die. I would rather give birth 10 times than to spend 1 hour with a myelogram headache. They're that bad." And so it's like, when people say, well, you don't really know what pain is. Look, I don't want you to know the pain I've been through, but let me tell you, okay? So, but how do you deal with severe pain? You put yourself in a hypnotic state and suspend yourself. So if it's a body part, you go into a hypnosis to say, all right, now I want the pain that's going on in my ankle to be just, to calm down. It's not going to go away, but you're going to say, and I don't want to focus on it. I'm going to think about something else. I'm going to do this thing over here. And for God's sakes, don't get up and try to walk around the room. Well, I'm going to ignore it. Maybe you should honestly, like sit down, honestly sit down, which is what I'm doing right now. I wanted to get back up and move a couple more block and get ready to pour some cement here on this porch. And I'm like, no, sit down. No, because the last thing you need to do is aggravate the damn thing, especially, just 2 hours since the accident, right? No, don't do that. Give it a rest as much as I want to go walk around or go do something because it's so nice and cool out tonight. No. So I'm decided to have a chat with y'all. But now, many things come in that category. So with the idea, if it was any more severe, I would have laid down, and I would have closed my eyes and put myself into a meditative, sure enough, make my body float. In other words, I would float out of my body, basically. Not that my body would float, but my spirit body would float out of my body, and in that I wouldn't feel the pain. And over the many years of having to deal with some severe head injuries and pain and so forth, that's how you do it. You go into a self-hypnotic state and you raise yourself, however you want to look at that. You raise yourself up from, there is an odd smell that has come up this afternoon. And every time I thought, I don't know what it is, but it's like I'm sitting out here and I'm whiffing it, and it wasn't here earlier. But anyway, it smells like dog poo or something that you stepped in, and it's like, what's that whiff, But it ain't dog poo. But anyway, it's a strange odor. But anyway, wait, I know what it is. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, never mind. I figured it out. So the first thing I do if I'm in severe pain, and I was close to this with my ankle earlier, and I was like, nah, come on, we've had worse than this. So that's the other side of the coin. You go, well, wait a minute. Oh my God, it's swollen up. I go, nah, come on, this is just a scratch, and it is scratched about 8 inches down my shin. But I'm like, nah, come on, we've had worse than this. Buck up, Bubba. Hey, Duggar, come around here. What, you want to get up in my lap, don't you? Well, come on. Yeah, come on, bro. Here, come here and see. Come here. Come here and say hi. Come here. Hang on. Duggar, where you at? Oh, well, never mind. Sorry about that. Ruffle. He's up back there running around. Anyway. So the first thing I'll do is do a relaxation meditation, and with the absolute intent that I'm going to shut off all my feeling to my body, not just the affected area, but I'm going to relax. I'm going to start with my toes, my fingertips, and I'm going to do that relaxation all the way up my body. And I'm going to relax it. I'm going to shut down left leg, left arm, right arm, or however you do it. Slow down my spine, and I'm going to be doing the breathing exercises so that I can calm my breathing and calm the system down, right? And so the first thing that is like, that's how you gain control. Okay. Now, is it still hurt? Is it still going to swell? Yes. So it's not like, oh my God, this is the miracle thing. No, but if you're in a lot of pain and you don't have any pain meds, whatever, this is how you can deal with the pain until the whatever it is heals, or. So and I've had way too much practice. So now, where many years ago, or several years ago at least, I would have laid down and went into that state of mind. Now I remember what that state of mind is, and without having to go through the laying down part and the relaxation, I just understand that I'm going to focus on my ankle and say, okay, guys, calm down there. That's it. And I don't have to go through the rest of the rigmarole where before I had to. So, have I progressed spiritually? In that respect, I have, and I can see the changes within my own self. Now, does that make me any more superior to anybody else? No, I've just had a crap load of practice at dealing with pain. That's all. 3 years ago now, since I've been to the doctor, and which I gave up my pain pills, and now I literally still have like one or two left after all this time of collecting extras in case something happened. And now it's like I'm 3 years older, and I've come off those pain meds. But times like tonight, I could have really used one of my heavy duty Loratabs, and my lower back. It's 3 years later. And do I want to go on pain meds full time? No, but when incidents like this happen, it'd be nice to be able to help knock it out and not have to go into a coma stasis in order to make it through the day. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, with that said, but dealing with the pain though, it it is mind control. It is control of your own self. It is having a conscious effect or effect. Mm, anyway, effect on your system, on your body, on your mental self. And when you find that it's like, I can control this. Yeah, it's going to still hurt. Yeah, I'm still going to take a couple of Advil or whatever. But, yes, I'm still going to put ice on it. But, oh God, I don't have to go to the hospital. Oh my God. Now, there are times when people should go to the hospital. But having been hurt myself so many times and having broken bones and all that, I looked down and said, nah, this is not one of those times. So, but when I, had the fish hook in my finger for a day, I realized this is beyond what I want to do here at the house. I'm, I had a fish hook stuck in my eyelid and I cut it out. I mean, I had a Rapala about this long hanging. It went through my eyelid and out, and it was hanging from my eyelid. My son-in-law at the time passed out, and I was like telling my daughter, "Give me a pair of cutters. I got to get this thing out. What? You need to go to the hospital." I said, "Get me a daggum pair of cutters. This thing's coming off now." You know, and I took the wire cutters and trimmed it, pulled the hook out of my eyelid, and everybody's like, "You're gonna have to go to the hospital." But my eyelid was scratched for a little bit. I'd used some Visine, and 2 days later, there was just a red spot on my eyelid, and you couldn't even tell. And people were like, "You did what?" And I was like, "Yeah, I had a fishing lure hanging from my eyelid." So you know, holy crap in a bag, as my old Navy buddy used to say. Well, he was in the Navy and he was my buddy. I wasn't, but anyway, he'd say, crap in a bag. Anyway, that's like piss up a rope. I never really got that. But then I was like, oh, I see. But anyway, so dealing with pain and refocusing. So depending on where you are and what the situation is now, like for me, I've been down the river and all this other those are sort of extenuating circumstances. But at the same time, it's like that guy that was rock climbing or something and got stuck and he had to saw his hand off or something like that. I'm like, holy Jesus, please don't ever put me in that situation. I might have to actually do it. You know, would rather not, but but the idea of dealing with the pain, I mean, pulling, rocks and embedded things and sticks and fish hooks out of myself, over the years, you just have to knuckle down and do it, Bubba, or whoever you are. And you go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, calm down. As drastic as it can be. And now there are people who have had drastic incidents happen to them that later on I've had conversations with them and they go, I never thought that I was going to make it through that. That was one of the hardest ordeals I've ever had to go through. And the amount of pain and the amount of, yes, but guess what? You did it, didn't you? Yeah. See, well, what do you mean, Dave? Well, see, you can do it. Well, I don't understand what you just proven to yourself that you went through this ordeal and you made it. Don't you get it? You have this strength. You have this capability. You survived it. Get it? Well, I don't. I still don't know what you mean. Well, other people don't survive such things. Other people come out of it, total wrecks, or they don't make it at all. You've made it. It was tough. It was difficult. It was for crap, but you made it. Don't you get it? I still don't get it, dude. You survived. There are lessons in that survival. Well, I just didn't think I could ever do anything like that. And I didn't think. That's my point. You didn't think you could, and you adapted, you figured it out, and you're still alive on the other end. My friend Randy, when I was talking to him, he had no idea that a lawnmower was going to tump up on top of himself, and put him in a coma for 2 months. And he goes, Dave, he said, I've been there. You know what I mean? And I said, yeah, Randy, I do. I've been there too. And he goes, man, I talked with the devil, and the devil said I was too ornery. And they had enough ornery folks down there. He didn't need another one. And he said, and the good Lord told me that it wasn't time for me to come to heaven, but I need to come back here. And I don't know why, but he said, I'm back, and I'm going to get better, and I'm going to walk again. And I'm like, good for you. But see, he's an old Marine, and they learn how to not give up. You know, under any circumstances, you fight right to the end. You give it everything you got. He was brain dead twice. They were like gonna unplug him, and his daughter said no, and he's come back out. And I haven't talked to him in over a week, but I need to call him. But he's in the hospital and limited time with cell phones and that kind of thing. And so, but I'm assuming if anything else had happened, I would have heard. That's my point. It feels like he's still here. You know what I mean? Versus gone. But there for a while, in trying to, me and my friend Mr. Randy. I've got several friends named Randy, but we had a psychic connection when one time he said, man, I was thinking about you the other day. And I said, yeah, about what? And he told me, and I was like, and I was like, actually, I was thinking about you the other day too, and how things going and blah, blah, blah. He got, for the longest time, I used to supply him with fresh eggs and chickens. And then he moved to the country, and now he's got chickens. And he's so proud of that dadgum chickens. And he's like, one of these days when they get up big enough, since you lost all yours, I'm going to give you a couple of my hands, and then you can replenish your flock. And I'm like, yeah, well, I need to fix some things, and cool weather needs to set back in and all that. But to that point, so, I just knew when he was like, me and the wife was talking about you. And I was like, yeah, my ears was burning. So that old expression, if your nose itches, somebody's thinking about you. Anyway, you're going to kiss a fool, whatever. But the idea, though, that our ESP happens immediately, it just is there. The good thoughts and the good things, and my battery's about half gone, but still there. So our prayers and our healing can be felt, can be there. But, now I bring this up this one time. I brought it up a couple of times, but years ago, about this faith healer dude who was, used to speak in tongues. And I'd had operations on my neck, right? And he would come up to me and he was like, I'm going to heal you. Do you believe? And I was like, yeah, okay. But there was a part of me that was like, what's this fool fixing to do? And I mean, I was there and watching the whole thing, and the speaking in tongues, and was really creeped out by the whole event. Um, and it seemed like the energy that was being drawn there. But anyway, um, he was like, I'm going to heal you. And I was like, okay. And he goes, do you believe in Jesus? That was true. I said, yes. Do you believe in the power of the Lord? Yeah, I do. Do you believe that I can heal you? And I was like, if you say so. So he did this thing, and you're going to be healed, and you're going to be saved. And I was like, I think I'm already saved, but he didn't know I was Catholic. See, if you're Catholic, then you're not saved. You have to be baptized again, and whatever other religion, you know, you're trying to get in. And so afterwards, he was like, an hour or so later, I was sitting out on the porch, and they were in there praying and speaking in tongues and all. I was like, not for me. And so he comes out on the porch. He goes, you're healed, aren't you? And I was like, not really. He goes, what do you mean? And I said, my neck is still bad. I mean, I've got whiplash. I've had it for years, and I'm sorry, but my neck still hurts. I still have an issue. Well, then you just don't believe. You've got too much of the devil in you. And I was like, no, I've had a severe whiplash. It's my nerves are pinched. Now, I would really like to be healed. Trust me. But, you know, those nerve endings and the damage to the bone that I've seen on x-rays, you know, maybe I don't believe in healing like you, but I just know that putting your head on my forehead, your hand on my forehead did not fix those bones like apparently you think you can do. Other people like, I believe he cured me. The pastor cured me. And I was like, well, great. But the pastor didn't cure me. And it's not that I'm not trying to be a stick in the mud, but sorry, I still have my neck issues. But the Lord will heal you. Okay. You know, now in my own respect, over the years, I've talked about my knee, the extra motion I've had in my knee that I haven't had since I was 15 years old, since I got my leg broken. And some of the other things, and I've talked about this, and I will tell you, if you have arthritis and you're drinking out of plastic bottles, stop it. I have stopped drinking from you. I haven't gotten on a plastic bottle thing in a while, but this is related to the pain. I stopped drinking out of plastic bottles. Now, there's still the milk jugs. I still do milk. There's a few things that still come in a plastic bottle. But as far as drinking a soda, nope. Water, nope. Only in extreme circumstances. Now, we'll take water and put it in another container that is plastic, but it's not the same. It's Tupperware kind of plastic. Never microwave anything that's plastic and that quit using your microwave. That's something else that I quit doing. I haven't had anything microwaved in years. But when I stopped using plastic, and I've talked about this before, but it has a lot to do with pain and managing pain. I've read about the fact that the tiny little polymers that off gas into the sodas and in water, especially, that these polymers get stuck in your joints. And that's one of the first places where it goes and hides and is really, really difficult to get rid of. And you literally have to wear it out. Well, it's been about 4 or 5 years now. And I'm be 68 in a few days, 4 days actually. This is the 20th. I'm not pushing that, but I still I can't believe I made it another year. But my hands, and I've had these knuckles broken. I've had them cut. I've had surgery on this index finger. I've had this one with fish hooks and other things, and I my hands are stiff. But I used to wake up in the middle of the night with my hands hurting so badly that I was almost in tears. And there was nothing I could do. I tried this and that. But when I quit using plastic, not entirely, but mostly, especially drinks, my arthritis has gotten better. Oh, well, Dave, that's hogwash. Okay. You're not going to convince me otherwise. Now, my several other friends of mine who are at my age, they're drinking 2 or 3 bottles of something out of plastic every day. And, some of these folks is their hands, they can't move their hands. And I'm like, I tried to tell you. I have been off of plastic bottles now, other than a few things, but I mean, with sodas and water and stuff, nix, because it's a different kind of plastic, okay? And the off gassing is different. So, but anyway, having worked in plastic, I used to work with plastic molding and blow molding and stuff like that, and also plastics that were used in the automotive industry and stuff. So I do have a history, not a humongous amount, but more than a lot of people anyway. And I've done a lot of research about plastics. But personally, I haven't done anything else really that would have made my arthritis go away other than the fact that I stopped using plastic. So, there are things that people are doing to themselves that is creating pain. Now, doc, it hurts every time I do this. What should I do? Stop doing that, you know. Well, now I've had both shoulders dislocated. One, this right shoulder here, really bad, and it gives me trouble. But I'm also right-handed. I do a lot of lifting still with my right arm, and it puts extra pressure on my shoulder. And there are sometimes my shoulder hurts so bad and it's so deep. Ain't nothing about this kind of gonna smear something, gonna feel better. Nah, this is you know, it's ball and socket kind of stuff. But today it was sore. Instead of me like putting it in a sling, what did I do? I went over to the chair. I lean up against the chair that's up against the wall, and I do push-ups from there because when I get down on the floor, sometimes I can't get back up. But I still do push-ups, right? I still give my arms and my because now that the weather's calmed down, I'm me and the dog are gonna go kayaking soon. And I want to keep my arms to where I can paddle, right? So I'm still doing things with my arms. I'm lifting bricks and block and mixing cement, so I'm keeping my upper body strength. Um, because of my back issues, it's really difficult to walk long distances. So that's why I shifted to kayaking because I can sit and paddle and go a lot of places without having to walk. It's still difficult on my back, but I work through it because it's so much fun, and I focus on the event versus the pain that I'm having during the event. I've had people say, "Well, my back hurts and this and that." Well, I just can't do that. Listen, if I told you how bad my back hurt, but I'm getting in that damn kayak anyway, I'm going to have fun. And during that time, it might be sore, but I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be with nature, and I'm going to use that nature and help heal the soreness in my back. Now, you're out 5 or 6 hours, you come back, you load all the stuff back in, you're going to hurt. But inside, I feel so much better because I did the event that it added value to me and my condition. Even though I was sore and even though I was like, son of a bitch, I'm going to be walking a little crooked here for a day. I was elated because I had went to the river. So it's like any pain was like, ah, man, I can deal with this. Yeah, well, it hurt. Well, let's go out and play baseball. Not today, but I'll pass. Let's run to third base. Nah, I'm not running to. I'll run to the bathroom. That's about as far as I'm running. But the change of focus. So in the shaman's terms, you say, well, what has this got all of this to do? Okay, with shamanism. Well, in as a shaman in training, you learn how to control these things. If it's cold outside, you learn how to adapt to the cold, like those monks in the Himalayas and in other places too. But the cold just doesn't bother them. They're adapted to it. Where other people, they don't get it. You know, there's been monks who basically they're living off of air that weeks, in some cases months, and I think maybe even years over in India or Pakistan, over in that area, where these monks literally all they do is meditate, and they're Buddha like in that they don't even come out for air. Basically, they don't have any food or water or anything, and there are people who have left offerings around the meditating monks, and they videotape them, and they don't eat anything, and for weeks. And I think there was one that went on for months, and while he was in this state of so why didn't he die? Why didn't his kidneys shut down? Why didn't this happen? Why is he still breathing? And people would go over and check. Yep, he's still alive, but he's in a deep meditative state. Was he in a coma? Don't know, but he's meditating over there by that tree. And so people say, well, wait a minute, that's supernatural. That's over. Not really. Now, I'm not saying that that's what we should do, but in a small confined point of time, that is what I'm talking about, though. You put yourself in a trance of such a state that you can feel yourself, your spirit float out of your body, and that um, um, that you can make your body doesn't exist, and you can literally rise above the pain. I mean, if you're in the bed and and you will literally, your spirit will rise up and not feel the pain. Now, having had this conversation, and it's been over almost an hour and a half now, I'm sure my ankle swelled up, but the pain, it does not hurt like it did 2 hours ago. I mean, I was like wanting to yelp there for a little bit. Now I've had an extra. I I take two Tylenol, or they're two ibuprofen, every 6 to 8 hours, depending. So I took three instead of two. All right, but they're only 200 milligrams. So I took 600 milligram ibuprofen. Big deal, right? And so, but other than that, I will, when I get done with this video, go in and get an ice pack out of the freezer and put it on, because now I can touch it, where before it hurt so bad I couldn't touch it. And I ain't about to try to lay a cold pack on it. Anyway. But so I have changed my focus from the attention of my ankle to doing this, or having a conversation, or change. I could have done the magical mystery meditation, but in my old age, like I said, I've had practice at this. I can just shut that part off. Now, as soon as I stand up, it will remind me. Let me tell you. But at the moment, everything's copacetic. You know what I mean? So, but can you do it? Yes, you can. And it is a part of our spiritual development, because when we learn that we can have control over our bodies in such a way that, as much as something really hurts, we can make it not hurt. Well, but now I'm not saying, that it's a substitute for drugs, but if you ain't got them, like me, what do? You're you can take control of the situation by your own mental process, through controlling your own system, through controlling your own energies. And that is part of the shaman and training. With this stuff about, we're going to go into the fifth dimension. You know how I feel about that subject, right? We got to go to the fourth. It's where we're going to learn how to do some of this stuff, so we can get to the fifth dimension and be able to work right in the fifth dimension. Now, not that I'm saying that the fourth dimension is about dealing with pain, but it is about dealing with us and our conditions and our situations and our feelings and our emotions and our pain, because we're still attached to this 3D body. So as long as we're attached to this thing, we're going to have to deal with this. So I think, in my own personal thing, and other people that I've known that are my age, I mean, they just give up. Oh, it hurts too much. I A friend of the family's, actually, he was married to my sister there for a while. He has resigned himself, and he's younger than I am. He's resigned himself to a chair. Well, don't you go boating anymore? No, it hurts too bad. Well, why don't you? I don't even go hunting anymore because I can't climb up in the stand. It hurts too bad. And everything hurts too bad. So now he's just he's a recliner junkie. He bought himself a really nice recliner and a nice big TV, and that's what he does. And it's like, no, now I am addicted to that. But I'm older than he is, and I've had a few more injuries than he has. Not to try to pull rank, but I didn't give up, and he did. So now he's created his own prison because of the pain. And he's on some heavy duty pain medication. And I have to say, he got trampled by a bull. I mean, like a 1,500-pound bull. He got trampled. So does he hurt? Yeah, I have no regard, no doubt about that. But I'm in a lot of pain too because of falling 8 feet of with on on your back this way, plus all the other injuries that I've had. That's nothing to be sneezing at neither. But I refuse to give up. So it is a mental state, and it was taught by the shamans. You don't ever give up. Does it hurt? Now, if the bone is broke, for God's sakes, don't walk on it. Martha knew. When she broke her arm. I'm going to the emergency room. This thing broke. It ain't a bruise. We have to know the difference and not be stupid. You know, but at the same time, there are people who are overcautious. Oh, I think it's broke. No, it's just bruised, ma'am. But it feels like it's broke. Oh, trust me, honey. If it was broke, you'd be like nauseated and you'd be throwing up and you would, oh, but it hurt. I don't doubt that it does, that it hurts. But so from a doctor's point of view, when you go in and you tell doc, I'm hurting, they go, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because they've seen people who are in real flipping pain. Okay. So they look at you, and I know some doctors that have like, you're not really in pain. And then I would tell them, listen, doc, I've been through this and this and this and this, and I've made it, but this shit hurts, you know. And you can look at my record. It's like, you know, a foot tall and thick, seriously. And I'm telling you, when I tell you about pain, I'm raising my hand going, I'm not one of those chronic folks who are just looking for a pill. I'm in freaking pain. And this is, but anyway, but the last 3 years for me of not being to the doctor and not having these pain pills, am still learning how to deal with the pain. So for those folks who go, well, what are you doing now? I'm living without pain medications other than over the counter ibuprofen. And by dealing with it with some exercise and with my noggin going, I'm sorry, it might be sore. I'm going to get up and walk around and work it out and that kind of thing. So where other people will say, oh, but my back hurts, I can't move today, I say my back hurts, and I think the opposite. My back hurts so bad today, I have got to move, because if I don't, it's and I have stenosis of the spine, which means that calcium grows around where there are little holes that the nerve endings run through up and down the spine through the vertebrae, right? And they're closed off and pinched. And you can take all the stuff you want to, but pinched nerves, there is nothing that helps a pinched nerve except moving the bones around and relieving the pressure. So if it's hurting in a particular way, then I need to move that bone and adjust my body so that pinch comes undone. But if I stay in that pinch condition, then the pain gets worse. I can't deal with it. I have got to move. You know what I'm saying? So can we fix it? Can we do better? Yeah. And I have counseled some folks over the years, and this one gentleman that was here and stayed with me for several months. He was 400 plus pounds, and when he left, he was like 325. He lost 75 pounds, and I taught him. I can't do this. I said, are your legs broke? No, but I'm tired. Okay, rest. But you're going to get from this point to that point, rest, and then turn around and come back. And there's a place down on the river that's about an eighth of a mile back there, one way. It's not quite a quarter mile down there and back. So he was like, well, I'm going to go down there. Okay, but I can't make it. Well, all right. Okay, okay. But here's the thing. He wanted to go so badly that after a week, what used to take him an hour to get back there, and it takes me just a few minutes, After 2 weeks, he was going down there in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, where for us, maybe five. And after a while, as he lost weight and he gained confidence, and he goes, "Well, I might be 400 pounds." He was actually closer, like 425. He lost 100 pounds when he was here with me. But we went kayaking. I showed him that, well, I can't walk great distances. Okay, neither can I. Well, let's go paddle then. Oh, we paddled all kinds of places. In fact, he was in the canoe the night I drowned, and he helped pull me up. So, thank you, Jamie. But um, he saw me so close to death and drowned, and with the shivers, the hypothermia. He's like, "Hawkeye, I don't see how you made it through." And I was like, it was proof to him by my going through it and him actually witnessing it. I was like, "I got this." He said, "Yeah, but you're freezing to death. You should go to the hospital." Yeah, I know. Been here, done that, okay. But, give me a blanket. I'll be all right in a couple hours. And, shiver, shiver, And, but I was like, during that time I was showing him, I was sort of like, "Jamie, listen, you can do anything. I'm going to get over this being cold. I don't have to go to the hospital. I know I need to get my core temperature. I need, let's go get some warm coffee. Let's go. I don't have to go to the hospital with this, even though I got Medicare. But why? I know what the procedure is. Been through this before, you know. But I also understand I got this. If I'd been in the water any longer, not sure if I'd have had it. But no, I got this. So I'd made up my mind. I got this, even though I was freezing to death. So but if I would have had given in to the drowning or the freezing, the cold water, I don't, things would have turned out a lot more different. I would not be sitting here having coffee and thank you, Bob, this conversation with y'all. But what made the incident different? My frame of mind. I said, I got this. Even though it's tough, even though I'm freezing and shivering and couldn't hold on to the paddle, soaking wet, in a 10-mile-an-hour breeze, which, ooh, that chill factor thing when you're soaking wet. And it's already like 42 degrees, outside. And the water's about the same temperature. Now the water wasn't freezing, but it was damn cold. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but the idea though that, God, this is really tough. Holy mackerel, I hope I don't ever have to do this again. But, in hindsight, it's like, yes, it was tough. For several hours, it was really, really, really rough. But then I spent 3 days on a river, and that was really, really, really tough. But it was with heat instead of the cold on the same river in the same spot, by the way. I went back up, I almost froze to death in the spring and damn near died to death in August of that same year. I went back up the river to find where I had almost drowned. And in doing so, damn near got killed with all the other stuff and spent 3 days in the heat. So I've been, considering going back there, but it's like, I don't know. I haven't had too much good luck the last two times I was there. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, but confidence wise is like, well, let me, I don't want to provoke the spirits in that area because the incidents happened in roughly the same area of the river. So it's like, you know what I mean? But anyway, can we control the pain? Yes. Is it difficult? Yeah. But can we do it? Yes. Yeah, the answer is yes. Not, oh, I don't know. Just say yes. Now, you can say, I don't know how I'm going to adapt. That would be a true statement. But you don't ever say, I don't know if I can stand this, because then you're giving up and you're allowing the energy or the pain or whatever, you're giving it permission. And if you say, man, this some bitch really hurts, but I got this. You know, my leg's starting to ache a little bit right now, right? But I've been with you for almost an hour and 34 minutes. and I need to elevate it and move around a little bit. But to the point, though, it still doesn't hurt as bad as it did just before I started this video. Changing the focus, changing our parameters, and I got this. So the positive reinforcement that we give ourselves by saying, I got this. Now, in the back of my brain, when I was down on the river about a year ago, and I'm spurting blood out of this finger, which is still numb, by the way, when I hit that nerve, I'm like, at the time, I was like, there was 2 minutes of panic. I ain't going to lie. But I also, during that 2 minutes, and it really hurt, and there's blood spurting, I realized I can't just stand here and watch this thing bleed. I got to fix this, right? And no matter whether or not I'm on the river or whatever it is, I got enough common sense, and I've been cut and all this other stuff before. We're going to fix this. I got this. It took me a minute or two, but the first thing was, I got this. Let me figure this out. Now that I'm over the panic, I got this. And I did. Even though my finger still hurts a year later, and even though it's still numb on the end, I'm still here, and I didn't bleed to death, blah 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 blah. It didn't get infected or anything like that. So, and it was river water and down on this in the swamp, and all that kind of. Oh my God, I should have gotten this flesh eating. So, my dear ones, I love you all. I do. Thank you. You really are the reason I'm here. But I want to be able to give you all encouragement, because you all know we're going to go through some heavy duty stuff coming up. I mean, Marie knows about her brother, and we're finding out about Australia and lockdowns and other places that are trying to lock down. And us here in the United States, there are a lot of people who are fed up with this mask business and the fact that the numbers are so low. And the Democrats here in Georgia, for example, they don't have anything to sling at our senator, but they said, he put us at risk because he followed the president's advice. Now, how many, is Georgia have this really high list of COVID? But the thing is that all this information, is coming out about how the numbers have been fudged and about who actually died and the people that blah 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 blah. But in recent times, as many as I remember whatever that flu was back about 2003 or four. Oh my God, people were sick, and I mean they were like dropping like flies, and none of us wore masks back then. But now people are starting to question, like I put out months ago. How did we get all these masks all of a sudden? It takes a while to start up a business and to make millions of these masks and make commercials and do this and that. And now they're all different kinds of colors. And now the NFLs have got their own, and the college teams have got their own. It was really, oh my God. Watching the Atlanta Braves getting their butt kicked by, I can't remember who did they play. Anyway, I'm watching. I don't watch baseball a lot, but this is September, going into the playoffs and all. And I'm watching, and I was like, "Is that cardboard people in back behind the pitch? Behind the plate? They put cardboard cutouts of people in the stand at the baseball game and played crowd noise over the loudspeakers, so the baseball players would feel like there were people there. Cardboard, I'm outside. Cardboard freaking cutouts at the baseball game and crowd noise. Now, I also was watching Tampa Bay get their butt kicked by Dallas, I think it was, in the Stanley Cup playoffs. There was a few people in there, and there was sort of enough ambient noise of the people in this auditorium, but it sounded like they were playing crowd noise in the background too. Now, no cardboard cutouts, but think about cardboard cutouts in the seats. They are people. Are they trying to replace us or what? And there are people who say, well, President Trump says, let's play Big Ten football. And there are the colleges that are going, hey, we want to go to the game. And there are other people, we want to go to the, no, they're using cardboard cutouts. And I couldn't, I literally, it pissed me off so bad watching the baseball game. I was like, every cardboard cutouts. And there was some over here and some over there. And there was some all the way out. One of the Braves hit a home run to the like left field, way up in the bleacher section, and they cardboard cutouts of people back up there. And I was like, what? What? Are you kidding me? Cardboard cutouts. What have we come to? And so many of us know that and there's more information coming out about how ridiculous this has been. And the people who are pushing it to go even further. Oh, well, that Fauci, whatever, the CDC guy, he's been lying through his teeth because the CDC has had the COVID virus for years and have been trying to get a patent on it. And they can't because of its nature, but they're still applying. So, and I'm like, so here's the chief of CDC giving us, well, this stuff about the COVID, all this other kind of stuff, misleading. So now the president, you know, gets this guy to check up and he goes, this stuff is fake. This is false. Now the Democrats, what are they doing? President Trump is putting us in danger because he's saying, hey, let's take the mask off. Hey, let's go back to playing football. Hey, let's go back to like being normal. Oh, no, 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 no. We can't go back to normal. No, 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 no. So the only thing these Democrats have got against our Republican senator here in Georgia is the fact that he backed the president about, maybe we've gone too far with some of this stuff and letting the kids go back to school. And I talked with one of them youngsters the other day, and she's like, I hate it. We all hate these masks. We can't breathe. And she goes, it makes me just not want to go to school. And and they're forcing these kids to do this, and we've got Second Amendment rights. There are other amendments that are just literally, and there are some of these judges who are finally starting to have the cojones to say, listen, they're pushing an agenda against our will, and the numbers don't back up the fact that we have had our rights taken away from us. And every time we have to wear a mask, our rights are being taken care of. And there are constitutional lawyers, there are judges who are finally starting to speak up. But it's taken a little bit of time because of the lockdown and the fear and the this and that, and the numbers to come out. But the thing is that we have been scammed big time. And I think we are all realizing that now. We have been scammed, okay? Still going to try to follow the protocol and this and that and the other thing, but oh my God, these people out. I'm watching the football game today. The coaches pull their mask down to talk to the players, and this, that, and then they go back to the sidelines and put their mask back up. Well, wait a minute. If you had it, or if any of these guys had it, didn't you just transmit it? You're going back to the sideline where, would stand with other people with masks on. But they pull them down to talk on the microphone, to get a drink and all this. So they're pulling them up, pulling them down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And aren't you guys being connected? You're in the middle of a freaking football field. There's nobody in the stands. but up and down, up and down, up and down. Wait a minute. If it was that bad, shouldn't you like not do that? Just saying. So half of them are wear, the other half ain't. There's Georgia. I don't know if it was Georgia, whatever state it was that they were playing this football game I was watching. It was in Missouri actually. Um, so, but so there's a state patrol standing there, and there a guy on he's the state patrol's wearing a mask, and a guy on either side of him lane, and they're just yapping away, yapping away. So if it was against the law or the rules, wouldn't this state patrol guy want, hey, you guys put your mask on? No, it has gotten beyond ridiculous, and so many people are seeing it. Now, we need to keep our heads about this, but we also, as part of our pain and suffering and controlling this, we have to stick to our guns and go, listen, we understand if I'm around a hospital, if I'm around sick people, somebody that's had cancer therapy or just got out of the hospital, maybe their immune system's down, going to do this. But in the long run, it's dumb. And we know it. But the fear factor has gotten into some people so badly. And if what might be like this weird thing about with the president, you see, the press having a get together, and people are outside. Nobody's wearing a mask, or very few, and they're pretty close together, and nobody's worried about it. And then you go to and look at one of Biden's. There was this one the other day. Oh my God, he gets off of the airplane, and Biden's just a waving. He's waving, and the camera's over there. There's nobody there. He's just like waving to imaginary people that aren't there on the runway. I was busting a gut going, oh my God, dunderheads. Here we are with the blunder games. And he's just waving it like I know he's doing this photo op thing, but then the camera pans around. There's nobody there. He's like just waving to the air, to the to the tarmac, and folks are like convinced they want him to be the next president. And I'm like, I don't know who he's waving to, but if there's nobody there, I'm sorry, photo op or not, you don't wave to nobody. Um, just saying, But to kind of wrap up this pain thing, after almost 2 hours, it's been nice hanging out with y'all here in the middle of the night. Sometimes we have great conversations, don't we? And I know you folks are here because you want to participate too. That's my point about this. You all need to, hang out, and that's great. And I think I'm, I don't think I asked, but attached. I think I saw. Oh, Scratch. Hey, how you doing, Scratch? I'll put my glasses on here in a minute. I get a really bad glare with the glasses in this little camp light here, and I don't want to turn on the overhead light. That thing is like whoa bright and washes me out. Makes me look like hell. I don't look that good anyway, but So, is it important? Let's kind of wrap this up in a little bit about the pain. Is it important that you learn how to control pain? The answer is yes. And you say, well, okay, well, Hawkeye, why? Well, because it is part of the shaman in training's journey. I mean, I don't care if it's just stub your toe, which I've stubbed my toe a few times. I got one that's like permanently broke. My right toe, my right big toe, it's like always hurting, and sometimes a little more than other. I've dropped things on it, stubbed it, smacked it, cut it. Holy crap. I don't, about the time I think it's healed, something else falls. Or like tonight, I had no idea that that bag of concrete was going to break in half and I was going to have that thing land on me. But to the point, we have to learn to adapt, but Is it important that we learn how to control pain? Yes, because in that we are learning how to control our emotions, our things, our stuff. We're learning how to use our brains to, you know, uh, well, to shut out something that's uncomfortable. But here's the other side of that coin. If you can learn how to shut something down, to minimize the pain or the discomfort of something like that. Think about this in reverse, okay? If I have enough control that I can shut the pain receptors down, then maybe I've got enough juice in me and knowledge I could do the opposite and maybe actually have healing come out of my fingertips. Now, I've done physical therapy on children and adults, and I learned a technique through a friend of mine and the Casey Foundation. And I have yet to see I've seen different masseuses. They've got a massage therapy institute in Tallahassee. I know several friends who have got their degrees there, so they could be full licensed masseuses. And I taught this one lady who was taking the classes. And I said, they're teaching you to do this the opposite direction. She was like, what do you mean? So I told her about Edgar Casey. And she was a few, I think she might still be around. She's a couple of years older than I am. And she was like, Edgar Casey, didn't I hear? And I said, listen, honey, if you're taking therapy, you should read about what Casey said about muscles and bones and joints and things like that, and how good peanut oil is for sore joints, and how you can make, lanolin and peppermint and these simple herbs and a little of this and that. And you can make topicals, and how you change your diet, like me, no more plastic, and my arthritis is better. You're not going to convince me otherwise. Well, it was something else, Dave. Sorry, you all are still drinking out of plastic. I'm not. My arthritis has gotten better. Yours has gotten worse. But so, as a shaman in training, if you can learn how to shut something down, you can learn how to turn something on. You know what I mean? Your energy, your aura, your healing yourself, and maybe it's through your positive energy that you can help to heal another person. Whether it's hands on, and you might not like men to bone, but you can bring them comfort. You can bring them. You can change their focus. You can help alleviate their pain by maybe a kind word or a something, and I've got to go do this tomorrow. I have to take my friend Marcia some milk, and I would have done it today, but my battery was dead in the truck. So I got the battery on charge right now, actually. And but so if we can learn to shut down the pain, we can learn to do it the opposite direction too. It's about learning how we control our own systems and our vibrations and our stuff. And you're learning how to go into that astral area, because it's a self hypnosis kind of thing. But in that, okay, now it's like my ankle's really getting uncomfortable. Okay. But I've had my other leg on top of it too. And I'm stiff. I've been sitting here in this position. So, Michelle, I've got that butt cramp boogie thing going on here. The magic within. Absolutely, Michelle. But so it's how you prove it to yourself. Can I actually do this? Yeah. Well, I made my ankle, quit hurting for a while, and having a good chat with y'all on a visit. But in changing focus, that's how we do it. It can be a book, it can be a TV. Laughing really helps. The endorphins and laughing and changing. And it's like, I've been coming up with little goofy things here and there. So rather than being depressed or talking about dying yeah, try to bring it up, a little bit and talk about this, that, blah, 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 blah. But, that happiness about pain. Can we go there? Oh, I'm so happy that I hurt like hell, but it's that odd, weird sense of, wait a minute, isn't that some dark humor? Well, I hurt like hell, but I'm laughing about it because it's the endorphins are different than oh my god, I'm up, my leg, and hey, we got this. You know what I mean? We can make it through this. I've got maybe not a lot of control, but I got some. And to me, it's proof that, listen, well, someone might say, well, Hawkeye, well, how do I know if it's working? Well, did the pain go away? Oh, I forgot about it for a while. Oh, you did? Oh, well, then maybe it works, right? Well, I don't know. I forgot about it for a while. I didn't even realize it was hurting, and now it's like throbbing like hell. Yeah, okay. But see, during that, you forgot about the pain thing. Isn't that proof to you that you can actually do this? So every time you do it and you're successful with it, that's proof to you in the universe that you have this power. Well, is it power to manifest or whatever? Well, I manifested less pain. I manifested some healing stuff going on. I'll go in the house here and check it in a few minutes. But the idea, though, that wait a minute now, so every one of those things should give you confidence, not necessarily ego, but confidence in like, man, I made it through that. Yeah, I was a bitch. Yeah, it was hard, but I made it through. And that's the key. We made it through these instances. Hey, dog, you come back. There you go. Stay here. We're gonna go in the house here in a few minutes. Stay here with me. Stay here with me, Duggar. Yep, 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 yep. Stay here with me. Yeah. Don't go running off. You stay here with me. This is going to be the porch soon. I hope to God it don't take me another year to finish this porch. Please, Jesus, tell me it ain't going to do that. See, it was only going to be 6 foot wide, and now this porch is 8 foot wide. So I quit and had to regroup and move everything out. Boy, howdy. Anyway, Duggar, stay nearby. Stay, good boy. You stay here, okay? Yeah, you don't have to stay right here, but don't go running off. You stick by, okay? All right. Okay, my friends. Let me check and see what y'all been chit chatting about here in the. That ain't too bad. Quantum talk. Yep, I got 14% on this battery. This thing's about to go out. Having fun. Positivity breeds positivity. Yep. Hi, Duggar. Tooth of me says, where'd you go? Stay nearby, Doug. Come on now. Stay here. All right, good boy. You stay here. Stay here now. Don't go running off. We're going to go in. The battery's going to die on me here. Attached, laughing is Dutch. Yeah, it is. Duggar's a good boy. He is. The cats were out in the yard earlier today, and he got close, and they were like, and I'm like, nah. So he's getting better with the cats too. Michelle, every single day we survive and thrive, we gain more confidence. Absolutely, Michelle. Very good. Y'all are learning so good. There are times I used to question, well, I'm going to do this video. Is it going to do any good? Will anybody get anything out of this? And I go, you just have to have faith. Mind over matter is how I go through life. Yep. Right, Scratch. Timeliness stuff, mind over matter. Right, Truth in me. So many different thoughts all at the same time. Laugh my ass, just like I had 10 to 20 conversations all at once. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Truth in me says I saw so many scenarios all at once. Yep, absolutely. Life is too short for misery, says Scratch. Yeah, and even though we might, have misery in our lives, we don't have to let it take over our lives. That's the key. But cramp a clock, exactly, Michelle. If, if it was just for me, I probably wouldn't, but I want to do it for everyone else. Someone has to do what? Scratch. Thank you. Yep. Okay. Steel toes. Yes, I know. And when I'm out here barefoot or in flip flops and you drop something on your toe, I know, not real bright. Marie says, we don't see what is happening on the inside of a person. How do we know they're in pain? If we know pain and its feeling, then would that be empathetic to others, knowing that it's not easy for those that suffer it in silence? Yes. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of sort of brought this up. There are some people who are suffering in silence and they really are hurting. But at the same point, there are people who are overdoing it and they're taking pain pills and all that. Oh, I hurt so bad. And it's like, maybe not, you know. But not to say they don't hurt, but it's the degree of hurt. And when I go to the doctor to fill out pain pills, they give you a sheet. You have to fill it out every time you get your pills, right? And how badly do you hurt? Can you do this? Well, no. Well, how bad does it hurt? Well, by your standards, this is an 8. By me, I'm getting by with maybe a 6. So, but if I put down a 6, then they go, well, you don't really hurt that bad, do you? And I'm like, but I really do. But I have to go by your standards, not mine. So a 10 for me is I'm stuck in the bed. Okay. But, a 9 for me is like, well, it hurts or, on their scale. But it says right there, can you walk a distance of? Can you do this? Can you lift to that? And the answer is no. So by their standards, I'm an 8 or a 9. By my standards, I'm a 5. But I can't tell them I'm a 5 because then they're not going to give me the pills. Well, but that's been 3 years ago. But to the point, when I go back, I'm going to have to go back and do that. They're going to want to know what level, to what degree do you hurt before we give you these pain pills. I'm 68 freaking years old. I have fallen off of scaffolding. Literally, my file is like this thick. It's not a joke. And I have to fill out this form that describes how much pain I'm in. Scratches. I used to be able to read people by their eyes. I could tell those that suffer. My battery's running low. Okay. Um, I could tell those that suffer. I did it for years. I help a lot of people too. Back in my old Yahoo days, 12 years I did that. Just finally caught up. Yes, Scratch. And the thing is that we can still be empathetic. That's what I talk about being the compassionate observer. We watch other people, we see where we need to step in, and we help when we can. We do the best we can. Truth of me, big hugs to you, silent watchers. Thank you for the lessons, but now it is our time. Yep. And it's okay to be silent. It's all right. Well, I'm literally, this battery is going to shut down this live stream if I don't go ahead and shut it down before. I love you. Thank you all for hanging out. It's 5:17 a.m. I can't believe y'all are here with me. Blessings. Thank you so much. I am your humble host, David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And I thank you for your time, your effort, and your practice and your work as a shaman in training. Keep up the good work. I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you will learn to accept, receive the healing, the knowledge, and the wisdom from the universe. Each and every day, I continue to pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of your relatives, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will learn to accept, receive the knowledge, the healing, and the wisdom from the universe. And as that rule of 3, I continue to pray that each and every one of you continue to accept, receive, and to share the knowledge and the healing and the wisdom from the universe. Y'all doing a good job. Keep up the good work. And from South Georgia, Southwest Georgia, it's called TTFN for now. Blessings back, Hawkeye. Thank you. Scratch, thank you. Attach, good night. Blessings all. See you soon. And continue your work. Every day we have to learn how to adapt. And sometimes we just need to change our focus. And truth, thank you. Ween. Yes, my friends. Until next time, I love you. Take care. Be safe. Keep keep up the good work. And me and Doug are going to go in and have a snack. I love you all. Take care. Till next time. Ta ta for now. TTFN.